I came to him, and he is. It's safe to say it's been an amazing investment for me. But enough about this. I want to give him some time. After that, he will ask if anybody has any questions, and then after that, we'll go over some Amazon stuff until the end of the call. So, with that being said, Aris, want to hand it over to you, brother.
Awesome, bro. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Phil, for having me. And incredible group you guys got here. Just want to say real quick, number one, it's well, I'm here in the Eastern time zone, right? It's 8 o'clock where I'm at. Lots of things everybody could be doing on a Monday. Really grateful to have you guys here and to be present here. So I want to ask you with that, if you are here, I want you to be all the way here with me because, like Phil said, a lot of people pay me a lot of money to go over some of the things I'm going to go over with you guys today. And I truly feel called to go over this. And I'm going to train in a little bit different way. Sometimes you guys may have people who, have presentations and slideshows and stuff like that. Me, my favorite type of trainers are always the kind who train like through their story and just being really relatable. And then hopefully through that, you guys are going to pick up some nuggets. I'm going to be trying to drop some things. But long story short, I have a weird favor to ask. Okay. I don't want any of you, if you guys are note takers, to take notes on anything that I say at all. Okay. Now, the reason I say this is because I want you to take notes on something else instead. I would like you to take notes on the things that you think as a result of what I say, right? Because then you're going to be learning how to take notes on your own mind instead of being a follower. And this is something I learned from one of my mentors a while back. Because here's the thing, nothing I say here on this call is going to be able to dramatically change your life overnight. However, there is something you could think tonight and this very short call that could be a seed of an idea that if you plant and you water it and you get it some sunlight can turn into an entire whole business industry, a whole new life 12 months from now. And it can start from just an idea you get tonight. So I want you to be on the lookout for that idea. Again, I'm going to say a bunch of things. I'm going to tell you guys about my life and the stuff I've done, how I've helped clients, and what I help them with. But I want you to be on the lookout for the ideas that you get throughout the process. So is everybody cool with that? Maybe somebody with the camera on can give me some double thumbs up so no, I'm not talking. Hey, yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. All right, cool. So a little background, right? I want to give you guys my story so you understand who you're talking to. I'll be short and sweet though, because nobody cares about that. I have been in sales for a long time. So I started off in retail like most young kids, just working. I actually worked at Finish Line selling shoes, even though I had no shoe game whatsoever. Okay, none, zero. But I was out here trying to service people as one of my first jobs. And that's when I really fell in love with sales. And that's when I fell in love with servicing other people. Fast forward a little bit, I ended up being part of a health nutrition company where we help people lose weight. I lost a bunch of weight through the company. And there was even an opportunity for us to open up brick and mortar locations. So I don't know how many of you guys, if this is your first run at business, if you've been doing business for a while, you're just transitioning to the Amazon model, right? Brick and mortar location, just to keep it simple for everyone, is like an actual storefront, right, that people come in. So I owned a smoothie shop when I was 23 years old. Okay. I knew absolutely nothing about business when I did this. Okay. I had an idea and a passion, and I was able to take this idea and turn it into a storefront. So this is going to be the first lesson I want you guys to maybe think about. Don't take notes, think about it. No limitation is real. I want to be serious, very, very dead serious. No more joking. The limitations that you guys place in your mind, on your business, on your personal life, they're just not real. And I know before, I'm not trying to invalidate anybody's unique experience. And I understand me and Phil both know we come from the trenches, right? Trauma is real, painful experiences are real, but the limitations that we place after those events, well, those are self-induced. And I found this out the hard way and in a good way in 2019. So in 2019, when I first found out about these storefront ideas, I had $0 to the bank and even worse credit, right? As Jim Rohn says, they let you whistle on past zero now. I was in debt, right? And I had no idea, but I went to a event similar to like this, and at that event, somebody was sharing their experience of how they opened up a store and how it completely changed their life and all this stuff. And I had, with zero proof, with zero logical, logistics of how I was going to do this, I looked at my wife and I said, we're going to open one of these shops. Now, this is April of 2019. This is almost 6 years ago. And I can tell you this, July 15th in 2019, so 3 months later, was the first opening day of my smoothie shop in a town that I had never lived in, never been to, knew no one. And I had raised $25,000 out of nowhere to be able to open that location. Now, I don't come from a lot of money. And the places that the money came from, I didn't even know were available to me until I began to ask. So, this is one of the best things I ever learned from my mentor. The easiest way to get what you want is to ask. Sometimes we become incredibly good workers. We fill out the check. We fill out the check boxes. We go through our task every day. We do the things. Phil is an incredible mentor. He's going to be giving you guys things you need to be doing daily, weekly, monthly in order to ensure the success in your business. Sometimes we go through those things, but then we don't ask for what we actually want. We don't ask. And when I say ask, who are you asking? You're asking the universe, God, whatever you believe in, yourself. What is it that you actually want? Not what it is that you think you can have, not what it is that you've gotten so far. You see, up until that point, I had never raised even $2,500, let alone 25,000. But the beginning step is asking, and not just asking, it's asking with belief. What kind of belief? Belief of a child. Jim Rohn, I'm going to quote him 1,000 times in this, right? He says, you need to make plans like an adult, then believe in them like a child, right? You guys ever played a kid in anything, right? It don't matter. My son swore, I'm 6'3", almost 300 pounds, right? I'm standing up here and my little 8-year-old son forever was like, Dad, I beat you up. Right? There's no logical reasoning, right? He's got full faith though. He's ready to take the fight. And if we can have that kind of energy, that's the thing. Sometimes people hire me. You guys go and watch these videos online. You watch other leaders like Eric Thomas, Tony Robbins, other people who are motivators, and you're looking for something you already know how to do. All of us have been a child. All of us have been able to experience full faith in yourself. It's just that through results in business, through life, through traumatic experience, we start to bog that faith in ourselves down over time, slowly. It's not a quick process, right? So in this moment in my entrepreneurial journey, I realized something though. Hey, if I just believe, some crazy stuff can happen. And then we did something that I didn't even know was like a technique, right? I'm in the manifesting space at times. Like I see all the stuff, right? I didn't know this was a thing people were doing. It was just an idea we had. My wife and I, one night, we were about 5,000 short of our opening budget, and we didn't know where that last five was going to come from. And we sat and we prayed together, and we said, "Thank you, God, for allowing us to." And then we started making up fake situations, fake people that we didn't know, that we knew that our service was going to change their life once we opened it. We said, we're going to go help a single mom lose 20 pounds. Again, we were in a fitness and nutrition niche, right? We're going to help two kids make an extra $1,000. We're going to help so and so make $100,000 off the business opportunity. We prayed about these things. We didn't know who the person was, but we really connected. Every single one of those things came true. Within our first full year, we did $156,000 in revenue. I didn't know anyone. The second year, our best employees went and opened up another location, but because of the model I was in back then, it worked out for me. And we ended up becoming one of the biggest teams in Indiana that had these smoothie shops. And again, where did this all start from? An idea inspired by somebody who was ahead of me. So another tip I'll find for you guys, Phil is amazing. You got to stay with people who are ahead of you. It's critical, right? The reason why is because when you get around somebody who's ahead of you in any area of life, something happens called the law of exposure. Now, before I joined this other company, I didn't know anyone who made over $10,000, $15,000 a month at all. In my life where I grew up, there was people 1,500 a month would be great, right? Like I didn't grow up with these wealthy people around me. And so what happened the first time I met somebody who talked to me about making $25,000 in a month, and it was like something that's easy, something that's normal for them. My brain said, what's going on? Wait a minute. And it's just like in the Matrix, if you guys have ever seen that, I'm maybe aging myself here, but like you ever see the Matrix, right? You can't untake the red pill. Like you can't go backwards. There's no way, right? I wasn't gonna go. I don't know about you. I will not keep going on YouTube and watching 21-year-old just bought my first Bugatti, and you're not gonna get me some. No way. Unacceptable, right? This guy, hey, there's no way. Okay. This is the belief I took on. And maybe this is another tip for some of you guys. Maybe you guys are in this group and maybe you just got started and you're looking at the people who've been in and working on their business, or you even looking at Phil and looking at where his business is at. And you're wanting the same results without paying the dues. Jim Rohn says it's called frustration, right? It's trying to have an above average income without becoming an above average person. It just doesn't usually work out. Right. Now, hey, if you guys figure it out, you let me know. I'll be the first to sign up. But in my experience, you're going to have to do things that are incredibly difficult in order to grow and be able to hit that new level, right? You need to get black pilled like Alex. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds on next level, right? So listen, the thing is, guys, I learned in such a short amount of time that I'm so much more capable than I thought of. Here's the other thing I learned of. On the other side of your limitation are people waiting for you that you don't know yet. Mm, mm, mm. Listen, some of you guys don't even know who's going to be. Look, when I started this business a year and a half, 2 years ago, time is flying now, right? And I started this business and I was sending 1,000 DMs and I was making terrible reels and nobody gave a damn. I had no idea Phil was waiting on me. Right. I didn't know yet. I didn't know that all of you guys who are going to take this, what you hear on this call, and are going to be fired up. I had no idea you were there. But either way, it doesn't change the fact that you were waiting on me to show up as my best self long enough so I could help you. And how many people do we have waiting for us? It's unlimited. You don't know. I'll tell you one more story about this that really changed my life. About 8 months ago, I got a comment on one of my YouTube videos. How many of you guys post a one in the chat, post social media content, videos in general, right? Maybe about your life, your business. If you post content on social media, yeah, hit a one in the chat, right? Okay, listen. How many of you guys that have done this have gotten not a lot of views on some of your videos, right? Okay, I got almost 10,000 followers on just one of my channels, and we still have videos that don't get a lot of views, right? Listen, I about 8 months ago got a comment on my YouTube video of a young man, and he told me, "Hey, your videos have really inspired me. I'm all the way out in New Zealand, like other country, right?" And he said, "Your videos helped me create an app, and we're doing about 420 USD a month now. And I'm so happy, dude. You're a gem. It's really you that motivated me to do this." And I got that message and I was like, yes, fire. This made me feel really good, worldwide reach, whatever, right? Then about 3 months later, I get another comment on the video that I made showing this dude's message and giving him some love. I made another YouTube video and was like, yo, just got this message from a subscriber. Thanks so much. A couple months later, I got a message under that video that was a little somber. And I'll have to lock in with you guys here. The message read like this: Hey, the person who sent that message to you in this video was my son. He passed away this week at the age of 27. And your videos are what he sent me all the time. And I just found this video in our text messages. I thought I should let you know you made an impact. I call it the silent responsibility. I had no idea bro was watching me. He's on the other side of the world. His last week on earth, he chose to look at my videos as inspiration, some of which only have 40 views. Now, if you think that views is everything, we got to, guys, there's work that God's trying to do through you, and you too scared to take the action because you're worried about fear of judgment, you're worried about failure, you're worried about setback, and whole time, this is the only way through. It's rough in the seas to victory, man. That's why not a lot of boats make it. A lot of people crash and swim back shore. So the reason why I say all this is because you guys have so much potential, and it's not just me, right? I'm a passionate person. I do this for a living, but here's the thing: there are people waiting for you, Lil Wayne, you, Denise, you, Phil, you, Mona, like you guys, only you. They walk past you at work. They see you at the gas station. It's little moments where if you show up as your best self, you're not just helping your own life, you're legitimately changing the world. You're legitimately bringing light to a situation. What does all this have to do with business? How many of you guys go to salesmen, right? Or any business, any restaurant where you get bad service? None. So the reason why I say this all applies to business is because there's no way that if you walk around with a bad attitude, feeling negative, feeling doubtful, comparing yourself to everybody else, but working really hard, that you're going to be able to flip that switch whenever it comes time to have an important relationship in business, a client, or something bad happen to your Amazon store, right? If you guys don't have the baseline level of positivity and grace and working on yourself, then when the shit hits the fan, you're going to hit it too. On the opposite, when you put in that daily work, the bad things are still going to happen. I'm never going to promise you that life will be easy. Phil is a testament, right? There's going to be fires that get put out that need to get put out in your business. In fact, that's the biggest role of a business owner, CEO, founder is legitimately putting out fires. There's like the most important thing you do. However, despite that, most of us freak out every time we see one. And you're the firefighter. What's going on? Hey, look. Oh my God, hold on, guys. I gotta write this down for you. I'm getting fired up here. I don't want to. Phil knows I could talk about this for 3 years, but listen, Dan Kennedy puts this into a perfect quote. He says, "All business comes down to two steps. Number one, be the wizard. You need to be the person people come to, the dependable, strong foundation. You're the one, and you got to accept the role in full. You can't politely be the wizard. You can't be like, I'm kind of the best. Heck, no, say it with your chest, right? You can't do that, right? It doesn't work. It's so you're gonna have to be the wizard. And the second step is beware the other wizards. This goes back to what we're saying. Stop looking for other people to validate you as the wizard. Hey, look, hitting 10K a month in your Amazon business won't make you the wizard. Hitting 30K won't make you the wizard. Hitting 100K won't make you the wizard. Making a decision to become the best version of yourself today and for the rest of your life. Now that'll do it. And it'll do it right away. And it just takes a little bit to keep it up and to prove that you know what you're talking about. Right. And I want to share with you guys a couple concepts, a story that actually like really changed my life, scared me. So how many I don't even go down that road. I'm just gonna tell you it. A while ago, I saw a video, and this was how to manifest video, right? And it's saying, if you want to prove to yourself that you can have anything, you have to see yourself with visualization. And I dare any of you guys to seriously do this and message me on Instagram. I will message you back. It's me, right? Like the the you have to close your eyes and imagine seeing and holding a blue feather. Not a gray feather, not a nothing, a blue feather. And you're to see yourself picking up this blue feather. And when you receive it, you're supposed to know that this is a sign that you can manifest anything you want, right? Now, a year ago, I see this video and I'm like, that sounds pretty cool, but a little far-fetched, right? As many of you may be feeling right now. And try to pull this up without getting off topic here, if my iPhone will work here. But the most critical part about all this is that you have to detach from the outcome of finding the feather. So I'm like, okay, I'm about to do this. I'm going to be making sure that I detach. I see the feather, And a couple weeks go by, me and my family go to Florida for vacation. And while we're at Florida, we have a crazy moment where we're supposed to go out to dinner with my wife's best friend, and I accidentally forgot my wallet back at the Airbnb, but I didn't want to tell my wife that. Any man who knows, like I wasn't trying to be like, yo, I fucked up. Like, sorry. You know what I'm saying? We got to go back to the hotel. So I was like I was nervous and I wanted to ask her, I was gonna have it to where like, hey, you know, maybe we should ask her friends if they don't care if we go back, or maybe they can cover us and I'll get them the money when we get right back to the hotel, whatever. And I'm stressing out about this. And I'm hearing loud as day. I want you guys to say the word apple without saying out loud. One, two, three. That voice in your head, loud as day, was going, chill out. I got it all taken care of, man. Chill out. And so I said, man, this crazy mofo is about to get me hung up by my wife, man. We got to find this money either way, right? I believe in you, God, but I need this money. And so I'm like, okay. At that moment, we were supposed to go see these birds at this shop here in Florida. And my wife literally yells out at that moment, babe, the parrots at this shop have blue feathers. And I remember that damn video I watched a couple weeks ago. I'm like, oh my God. Bro, I'm about to take this as a sign. Thank you, Lord. Right. And I was already, this is another key, right? Again, these are hidden gems. You're gonna have to look for them. I'd say it wasn't my exact visualization, right? My exact dream. I picked up the feather, but I was like, man, Lord, I need this. I'm gonna take this as a sign that everything's gonna be okay. And I'm gonna try to find this damn picture for you guys because it's not as cool without it. But I was like, man, I'm gonna take a sign. So then I go up to the birds, and she's like looking at the birds, and this one is all feathers are messed up. I completely quit caring about my blue feather. I saw this one little bird, it was all tattered up in the cage, focused up on him, and then my wife yells again, babe, come here. I go down to the bird she's at, and she says, when I walked up to this parrot, it pulled out one blue feather from its chest and dropped it in the middle of the cage. And I'm like, now that's a blue feather right there, for real. And but again, it's not in my hand. And I say, thank you, God. It would be really cool if I could hold it, but I'm going to take this as a sign. At that moment, the wind blows, the feather blows out the cage. And I can't find the picture without getting distracted because I have ADHD, but I do have the feather framed up and in my house now, right? But it's much more dramatic effect when I show you. So insert picture of a blue feather. But the point is I actually did it. And when I did it, I started crying in tears. I'm like, oh my God, this means everything's going to be fine for me. And I tell my wife the situation about dinner. She's totally chilled despite my worries, right? She's like, yeah, that's totally fine. We tell her best friends, they're like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just pay us back when you get back to the house. We get to the dinner. I go to take a picture of the bill so I can pay her friends back. And they take the bill from me and say, no, we wanted to pay for your dinner all day. We just didn't want to tell you, so you ordered what you wanted. That shit was already taken care of long before I had worries. Again, let's go back to the reason I brought this up and the reason I'm talking about this. Your limitations aren't real. The answer was already written before you knew it was a problem. You didn't even know. You didn't even know you had the problem. You already had the answer as well. Right? What I do and what I teach is to remind especially busy, successful entrepreneurs like Phil, like you guys will be, like you are now, to put the time in to work on what's going on up here, to work on what this voice is saying on a day-to-day basis. And you don't need to do it through ways that you may think. Phil knows, I've explained it. You see it on the story. I made double the amount of money in my coaching business by playing more golf and watching more anime. Now, how? That don't make no sense. But what happened is, and this is not good advice for somebody who does nothing, right? If you are chronically doing nothing all day, hoping for a miracle, that part is not real. Okay. I'm not that guy that says you can sit on a couch and materialize $3 million. I believe that if you're really acting in an alignment of your highest self, you're going to take the action anyway. But What I was doing and what many of you guys was doing is I was spending major time on minor things. Some of you guys are spending major time on things that move the needle in your business in a minor way, right? Like, what's an example of this? I mean, this might not be specific to your guys' industry, but like, especially in what I do and a lot of other people do, spending hours and hours and hours on a website. Nobody care about a website, bro. Like sometimes people convince themselves they're being busy and you're not even doing anything, right? Until you make sales, you don't even have a business. Stop going around putting entrepreneur on your bio and you just smoking and doing nothing, right? Making motivational quotes, right? That shit don't work. And I'm only talking not to you guys. I'm talking to past me because I wouldn't know you're doing it if I didn't do it first. Okay. So don't think anything's an attack here. I'm just recounting my history. And so the thing is we have an opportunity each day to either step into our old self or step into our best self. All right. But we got to step in something. There's no neutral. You're not just coasting. Stuff isn't just working, right? It's not going to happen that way. You can make a decision, you can ask, and you shall receive. You can take action, and there will be profit in all toil. Doesn't matter what it is, right? These are in the book. They put them in there for a reason. Okay. Now, I got one more thing, right? As Jim Rohn. I've talked about him a lot. If you guys, I put my Instagram link in the chat, but if you are interested in getting the video that has a lot of these quotables in it from Jim Rohn, you can DM me Jim on Instagram and I'll send that video over to you. It's one of my favorite personal development videos. It's not even mine. It's like 2 hours long, fundamentally changed my life. Here's the main concept. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. All right. Don't wish for less challenge, wish for more opportunity. This fundamentally changed my life. He talks about this. Their life is much like the seasons. Okay. The seasons for the last 6,500 years, as far as we can tell, have regularly fallen in the same order. After every fall, there's winter. Right? Every time. Some winters are long, some winters are short, some winters are hard, but there's always a winter and we don't ever get confused by it. And pray tell what happens after winter? Spring. And what does a season of life look like when it's in winter, right? That's when the everything's down bad. Nobody believes in you. Your girlfriend or boyfriend is hitting you up saying you ain't doing shit and you're not, right? Like everything's bad, right? No, all the cards are against you. That's winter. And the thing that we mistakenly do as human beings is go, "Oh, I'm in this season of winter. That must mean I suck. That must mean my ability isn't it. Amazon's too hard. It's oversaturated. They can't do it. If everything was oversaturated, they wouldn't still be doing it. Coaching's not oversaturated. Amazon's not oversaturated. They still sell coloring books for Christ's sake. You can make money doing anything, right? Like these limitations that we think are so real, we harden them not with truth, not with logic, but with our actions. You make it true. Whether you want to do the right thing or the wrong thing, you end up being right. You're correct. Sometimes you ask a pessimist, you say, hey, Jim Rohn says this. He goes, what do you think the next 10 years are going to be like? You know some important people, Mr. Rohn. You get hired by the most important CEOs around here. What do you think it'll be like? And he says, oh, gentlemen, I can tell you. I do have the answers. About like it's always been. He says, look, there's going to be challenges and opportunities. That's it. We are going to have something that challenges you and ask you to grow, to overcome it, and ask you to step outside of who you are so far so that you can be who you were meant to be called today. There's going to be those seasons. And then there's going to be opportunities where things go easy and they just get handed to you and you get the pat on your back. But he also says to remember the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. It's not instant. Okay. You guys are gonna put your head down. Me and Phil, look, Phil is the type of person, I want you to know why he's getting so successful. Because I've had the pleasure of working with him one-on-one now for about 4.5 months. He has his head so far down, bro forgets he made it. He had to hire someone to remind him, right? Look. And I'm laughing. I know he's laughing because this is the thing. Some of you guys are wondering why you're down bad. It's because your head is clear up to the clouds. Put that boy down and get to work, baby. Like, I'm not here to like be the harsh reality. I'm just saying you get a lot more results when you just look down and take one step at a time. You don't get burnt out. You don't start comparing yourself. You don't start asking for shortcuts. All of that stuff comes from somebody who's expecting a quick outcome out of a little amount of work. And instead, you could commit yourself to being the person who just does the things. Eric Thomas says, do you think a lion, after it gets a nice gazelle, a good one that was hard to chase down, what does a lion do? Does it sit down and go, oh, that's it. I'm good now. This gazelle should last me a couple, 3 weeks. No, they don't even, the lion doesn't even hunt for the gazelle. The lion hunts because that's what a hunter does. He says some of y'all are worried about the gazelle instead of learning how to be committed and falling in love with being a hunter. Fall in love with doing the process because the natural byproduct of the process is all of the results you guys are looking for. Is everything you want. I'm going to quote him one last time, Jim Paparone. Okay. He says, if you help enough people get what they want, you can have everything that you want. And he says to underline the everything.